You are the master that makes the grass green, my friends. And so with that, let's get into the read. I'm going to jump in a little bit further. So we have a different lineup of the Justice League than we're used to. There's no, like, I feel like Superman is gone, and I don't know where Batman's kind of here, but he's a little bit out of the way. So let me jump in. Supergirl's actually in this quite a bit, which is kind of nice. But I'm gonna come to where I look kind of like, right? There's my friend. Consciousness and the flow of ideas aren't imagination. You aren't your first thought. Be safe, neighbor, and good day. Oh, hi, Spider-Man. Oh, have a good day. You and the flow of ideas are imagination. You aren't your first thought. Well, of course not. Like, I mean, it depends on how you define consciousness or imagination or all those terms, right? And mapping that all out for yourself. However, I will say this. There's a level of, right now with the full moon, the balance of dream world and practicality, right? You can't just daydream all day. You got to do things like make food, feed yourself, make bank, pay rent, all that kind of stuff. So there's very real things that need to happen with all of like the magic stuff as well, right? Elon's moon, that's funny. Okay, regardless of what you think the moon is, or if there's two moons or whichever. Let me make sure this isn't blocking. Let me put this down. Okay, this and the and his drone stats. Oh my gosh, it's funny because I'm half South African, right? So Elon Musk being South African, I'm just kind of like, oh, come on, bud. Also, I think his family owned like an emerald mine or so, an emerald mine. And when we think of things like the emerald tablets, it's like a little bit sus. Okay. Stars learn. Bless you, Father Egan. I'll let him know. Okay, here we go. Who also yearns for peace of mind and soul. Whoa, red tornado, says Flash. Not that I'm not glad to see another whirlwind in red, but what are you doing here? I asked him to come, Wally, says Aquaman. But this massacre and other current events suggest the eternal crisis is the eternal crisis. That's a very intense crisis. The eternal crisis is our more pressing concern. This is JLA Infinite Crisis crossover, A World Without a Justice League. I don't know if this is like, it might be a full-on graphic novel versus it being different issues inside of it. Because, sometimes if you get the whole like tome, right, you have like the different issues in it. But I'm jumping in because I like to read as characters that are in the story. So I try to go to the panels that like I'm in. Like when you're like looking for yourself in photos of like event photos, like I'm just trying to find me, or like when you're looking at different signs, you're looking at your horoscope, right? That kind of thing. Hey, nobody, how's it going? I'm Black Canary, shots and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and she's here too, right? That was the whole shtick. We did it. So then Aquaman says, both situations demand a coordinated response, Tornado. GLA, Aquaman, you need to get here fast. Because we're literally dying out here. And then, so I know I'm jumping right into the story, but just to give you guys some background into this story so that when I conclude it, it makes a little bit of sense. And I do think this story is a good one for the world that we're living in right now, is that this is a world without a Justice League. In these kinds of newer editions, you have almost like cast of characters of who's in it, right? I'm playing as Dinah Lance, Black Canary. But in this, the bad guys are, Key is kind of like the front guy, but it's really, we're dealing with the 7 deadly sins and specifically envy. If you're not familiar with the Seven Deadly Sins, it's mainly like Captain Marvel, aka the champion of Shazam. I'm glad that we're not calling him Shazam anymore because the wizard is Shazam. Billy Baston is the champion of that wizard. So there are the seven deadly sins that are like trapped in the rock of eternity. I forget what happened. It broke. Envy is out and amok. So Envy is actually the main bad guy of this story, but we don't figure that out till a little bit later. Okay, so yeah, let's continue onward. Let's see if I can adjust the light so I can read it. I love that anime. Oh, excited for story time. And welcome you guys to the Cosmic Comic Book Club. This is the late night Tuesday read. And I just went over the calendar earlier about how every Tuesday I will for sure be doing these late night reads. It doesn't mean I won't have other reads in the week, but these for sure we will do for sure together. So next week we're going to have Phoenix come back. We're going to conclude that Phoenix versus Thanos thing. And then the week after is actually St. Patrick's Day. So I figured Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern, would be the perfect character to do for St. Patrick's Day. And we can revisit Blackest Night. Because what happens after Blackest Night, my friends? Brightest day. So it's going through the darkness to come through the other side. And then after that, we're going to have Batgirl, my bestie. We're going to do a Birds of Prey comic book. Maybe I'll find Death of Oracle just to revisit, bring it back around, kind of nice. And then our last Tuesday of the month, my sister will probably be here because it's her birthday around that time. And we'll be doing Supergirl, and maybe I'll have a Wonder Woman guest star. So, yes, you will see Zatanna. Zatanna is actually, I'm working on a magic show with Zatanna. So she'll have a comic book read with it, but I will have her also be doing hopefully like some card tricks with you guys live. But I've been trying to practice because I don't want to do her, I want to do her justice. She's an actual, like in the comics and stuff, she's a professional magician. She actually like, that's her gig. And she's like part-time Justice League, Dark Light. Like, she does a bunch of stuff. She's a boss. I love her. Where am I? I'm from Canada. I was born and raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba, out in the prairies. And I moved out to Toronto and got married in 20. Well, I got married in 2015, but I've been in Toronto till like from 2007, 2008 till now. So, zebra. It stands for Zabrina with a Z. Yeah, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but with a Z. You're from TO. Hey, maybe I'll see you here around. There's a TikToker named Unsighted. He's been going around like near my studio on like Queen and Spadina doing dance battles. I told him like I'm gonna find you. Maybe we'll do it in cosplay dance battle and drop. Yeah, very cool. Just congrats to you as well. Yes. I'm married to a man. Yes. I do love women though. I'm not gonna lie. I do love beautiful women. I was kind of close. Yeah. Okay, so now you guys know the background of this. Let's get into it. Okay? Story time, my friends. Because comic books are real books too. So in this, just to remind you guys, typically speaking, Black Canary and Oliver Queen, I like reading the stories where like Batgirl is with Nightwing and Oliver Queen is with Dinah, but that's not always the case, right? So we got Supergirl here, classic Supergirl, kicking butt. She's in the frontline team of Justice League, of course, because she's like the heavy, Her, Oliver, and friends are going up against the Key. And remember, the Key is just the front guy. Envy is the guy who, the Key was supposed to be some like low level criminal. And then he took a bunch of like psychoactive drugs and he like opened up himself to like those other realms. So this Envy demon thing basically took a hold of him, as what happens when you're in like certain low vibration. Ooh, oldies. That's a cool one, Cinch. I love that. 4 years single. You know what, you guys? Oh, I have a good feeling about 2026. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a pretty good matchmaker. You know why? Because growing up, I had a lot of girl and guy friends just because I love comic books. I love video games. I love like fast cars and muscle cars and all. So those are typically like masculine um hobbies or like interests, right? But I like them. That's just the way I am, right? But I also like girly things like makeup and hair and like all that, going to the spa and like dance class and heels and all that kind of stuff. So I have friends in both, like actual friends, right? So it's fun when I'm able to introduce like different friend groups where like they would like they the only thing they really have in common is me and they never would have met otherwise, right? So I have a knack for introducing people together and getting married. So who knows, you guys? Let me get my little, superhero matchmaking business up, right? Let's try that. Okay. And to me, Dinah and Ollie find their way back to each other, right? We were on a break. Sometimes relationships do have their ups and downs. Okay. I am working on having a crew. I'm working on having a dance performance crew, actually. It's my big goal of 2026. Actually, I want to do some dance battles, but also I have a movie I'm filming, so I I want to infuse live action with making a movie. So, like the idea of like a story within a story, um, the dream within a dream. So this idea we're gonna have like live action theater within the movie that I'm making. Um, I would really love it if I could get Britney Spears in it. Oh, how awesome. Like any of these, like how Tarantino, he like brought back Tarantino from like his old career, like he was washed out. Oh. um, it'd be fun. Okay, so let's see. I want to. Oh, oh, who doesn't get enough love? I need to work on her cosplay. Donna Troy. What a babe. Okay, what? Oh my gosh, it's hard to read with this light. Okay. Um, Go kid, go fast, go now. God forgive me, but he looked like Barry just before. Now, Barry died in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and so the speedsters usually do have to do the ultimate sacrifice when it comes to these collab crossover events. And while he's gone, that's too bad. I wanted to say hello. And then, who's that? You. But you're dead. Come on, Green Arrow. You should know better than most. Dead is not what it used to be. And so I guess she was dead, but now Donna Troy's back. Wonder Girl. Um, what did they used to say in comic books I read as a kid? Shock follows shock kind of describes the situation perfectly. Because there, standing in front of us, is Donna Troy, friend, ally, titan. There's one little problem, though, but you're dead. I was like, you came back to life, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You came back. What can I say, Arrow? I got better. You were dead. Like, well, I got better. It's okay. Can you imagine? It's funny. And then she jumps down from her little ledge as she made her like big entrance. You're like, hello, I'm back from the dead. I know this must seem very bizarre. Well, it is to me as well, but believe me, there is no time for explanations. Well, isn't that convenient? Oh, come on, Ollie. It's not as if you're not familiar with the whole back from the dead thing yourself, is it? Resurrection, kind of a thing with superheroes, I suppose. You must know the universe is facing a crisis of epic proportions. The threat is very real, and it is growing. I've been searching desperately for allies, and thank the gods, I found you. I need space-worthy allies to accompany me beyond Earth right now. And he says, Jon Stewart's like, oh, my ring. And she says, it's an emergency beacon from Hal. Yeah, my favorite Green Lantern. That doesn't surprise me. The situation is deteriorating rapidly. John, so he's got his little holographic like message from Hal right through his ring. John, we're facing another OMAC assault. We need to find the Brother Eye satellite right now. Wow, I never heard Hal sound like that. I gotta get out there. Yes, John, you do. I've heard of you from Wonder Woman. You meant, I mean, you mean a lot to her. I'm Supergirl, Superman's cousin, and if you need my help, I'm there. As am I, Donna. I see. There's been some changes since I've been gone, but thank you, Red Tornado. Thank you all. I feel like she kind of ignored Supergirl. What was that? um, and then, wait a minute. If this crisis is so terrible, we need a plan of attack to see how we can all help. Well, she wants space-worthy superheroes. And remember, us just human folk, I can't just fly up there. Right? So like Green Arrow or like the Bat family or like they can't just like jet out of here like this. So she's asking for those, I guess, who can do that power, right? And it's not to say that holding down the home front is any less important, but I get where like Ollie's going here. It's like, how can we help too in our own way? And Donna's like, oh, what? There's no time. I'm sorry, Ollie. There's no time. And frankly, she's kind of like a snub to him. And frankly, I only need the most powerful among you. I suggest you others tend to your homes. They may need you before long. Very ominous, Donna. She's right. I've been away from Atlantis for too long, says Aquaman. Mara's sick, and I have a feeling it might be the start of something much worse. I'll give you a lift, Aquaman, before I head over to Hal's side. Yeah, you guys do that. Don't you go worrying about us puny humans, says Green Arrow. I didn't like leaving Ollie and Dinah like that. Those murders back at the office tower still need to be investigated. I know, Arthur. But in a situation like this, we do have to make the hard calls. Maybe this is why the League couldn't continue. So you actually agree with Batman, says Aquaman. Oh, Jon Stewart's like, I never said that. There are too many challenges, too many threats that demand rapid response. Times have changed. We've changed. Maybe we can't act as a collective anymore. Good, because changing times or not, there'll always be a need for a league, says Aquaman. Always. And then he jumps into the water. Go back to Atlantis, check on Mira, make sure she's okay, that whole thing. And then, okay. So up until 20 minutes ago, Arthur, John, and I were trying to rebuild the league. Apparently, a lot can happen in 20 minutes. Hey, Ollie, says Black Canary. Says me. You know that old saying, they also serve who only stand and wait. Who am I kidding? In a world where people can fly into space at the drop of a hat, or have sonic screams for crying out loud, who really needs an overgrown kid and his toy arrows, says Green Arrow. Gee, I'll embroider that on my pillow, D. And then this like bird out of nowhere like attacks him as he's like wallowing in the fact like, I'm a puny human and I can't jump out and fly into space. Although like Ollie has done missions with Hal where like Ollie gives him like an emerald Pegasus to fly, right? Gives him some sort of like transport, which is like I guess what Jon Stewart did there. I'll give you a lift with my ring. So the Raven, or I think it's a Raven, bird attacks Ollie, and Dinah's like, Ollie, so much for my pity party. Oh my gosh, what is it? One of Manitou Dawn's astral projections. So we have a character in this story. Her name is Dawn, Manitou Dawn, and she inherits all of the shamanic powers from her partner who has died, who's Raven. So she can do things like astral project, astral travel. She becomes very important when dealing with envy because we're dealing with like elements of time, space, and reality that are like outside of like 3D time space, right? So Allah. Ah, yes. Oh, am I? You love green? Oh, I love Dinah too. I do love Black Canary. She's the bomb. She's kind of underrated, right? She's also in the animated version, like Teen Titans and stuff. She's very much like that mama bear energy and like excellent martial artist and just one of those things like which is what Ollie was talking about how like I mean like she does have power. She has that sonic scream, but she is still like human. She's not like an alien. She's like and her and Ollie used to date, but like maybe the whole sonic scream gave him a complex because he doesn't have powers. But I also saw this scene. I think it was from Smallville. I do love the guy who plays Green Arrow in Smallville. Justin, he's cute. Anyways, there's this scene where like Clark, I forget his last name right now. Tom Welling? Is that it? Okay. He's like standing at the top of the stairs. He's like, no, Oliver, this isn't you. Don't do it. And Oliver's uh cocking. Is that what you say when you draw an arrow? Drawing an arrow of like a kryptonite arrow. And he's like, it's so funny how he acted. He's like, I can't help myself. I have to. And so he lets the arrow go and like hits Clark. And like, I guess Clark's like dying. And then Green Arrow runs to him. He's like, I'm sorry, Clark. I couldn't control myself. But the way it was acted, I don't know. It's just, I have to find it. I'll show you guys. Um, oh, Tom Welling. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that, Adam, to make sure that I thought it was Tom Welling, but then when I was saying it, I was like, that sounds wrong. And shout out to Kristen Krug and shout out to the fact that Smallville was probably one of my favorite renditions of a lot of those characters. Uh, oh, I do love Lana Lang from Smallville. Kristen Krug. I told you guys, I think, a story from Frankie Muniz. Do you remember him from Malcolm in the Middle? How he said that he doesn't want to talk. He doesn't talk to Hilary Duff anymore because when he did Agent Cody Banks, he actually wanted Kristen Krug to play his lady love, but instead Hilary Duff played that role because her mom came in and like, you know, did stage mom stuff, I suppose. So funny. Herod, saw you jump in. Um, so one of Manitou Dawn's astral projections basically knocks Oliver to the ground. And she says, Ollie, please help me. There, my dear. Not to worry. The bleeding has stopped. The wound looked worse than it was. Oh, but you are a gift from heaven, you know. I sense your pain, your loneliness, and maybe, just maybe, dare I hope, you will sense mine. You know, I was a delicate I was a delicate thing as a boy. Weakness is a thing to deal with, right? I don't mean being innocent, right? But just being a weak-minded kind of thing is a thing. It's something to note. You know, I was a delicate thing as a boy, which led me to revel in my loneliness. I found immense satisfaction and joy in unlocking countless secrets of locks and puzzles. Such a simple, elegant, solitary hobby, really. And then, in time, it grew into a need to unlock the puzzle of the human mind. And yes, I overindulged in psychotropic substances and drugs in order to do so. But I was always very goal-oriented. The drugs changed me, expanding my mind. And thanks to the JLA and their inventive punishments, that expansion has evolved into unfettered telepathic ability. And sadly, loneliness, with all of its incumbent glory, became a thing of the past. Get out of my mind, you old man, she fires back out in her mind, right? Ah, oh my dear, ageism does not become you. You have a gift, magical abilities of great power. And she says, like, what? And I have need of that great gift and of you. So, any of you magic users out there, just be aware of sketchy, creepy people who try to take advantage of your magic and use your telepathic abilities for their nefarious purposes. It's what always happens, right? It's like why like the gifted children always get snapped up by the government and like experiments and MK Ultra, all of that stuff comes from this idea that like those who want those telepathic gifts. But like it's kind of a funny thing as someone who is very intuitive and has a certain level of that, you realize that like it's not what people think it is. And it's really meant to be wielded with like heart-centric goals, right? If you're doing it for negative or nefarious purposes, the universe knows, right? You can't hide that kind of secret from the all, right? So, yeah, just a heads up there to all you dream walkers and clairvoyants and all of you guys out there. Just, practice get your own sandwich, right? So, your boundaries, healthy psychic boundaries. And that includes things that you let into your own, like even this that you're watching me right now, reading you a story. Um, Even that, like just have discernment over what you allow into your own personal universe, right? Like if it doesn't make you feel good, if you like, I've had to like scrub some friends and certain things or certain channels, even from my daily, let's say, diet of media, right? Because certain things is just like they put you in this like negative state and it doesn't help, right? Oh, hey Zonax. Oh, thank you. I wanted to do the choker with like my heart on it too to kind of be like lots of love for your throat chakra, but kind of felt the latex today, because Dinah's a firecracker. Love it. And um, she's definitely one of those people who she does have that mother hen energy, which I vibe with in a group too. And she's a pretty, like in some renditions, like a rock star as well, which is hot. So, okay. I would love to do like a Birds of Prey musical kind of performance, That'd be fun. Where you have like Batgirl, Huntress, and Black Canary as a trio and they perform something. Ha It's gonna happen. I'll do it with like I'll figure out how to do it with me and then I will do casting for people. Um okay. So she pushes back against like the old man, right? And where is it? He says, "Open your mind once more." So he's trying to like basically like break into her head, get into like, her head. And that is something I feel like when people go through like mind control or they go through these situations, that's like what it can feel like almost like someone's trying to get into your head or manipulate you and all that kind of thing. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I've been getting some TikTok restrictions lately. Like Supergirl the other day with my like midriff top gave me like a restriction. I was like, what is happening? So I'm trying to be a little bit like also cognizant of that as well. So thanks for that. I like having a little headband with this version of Black Canary for some reason. I know that she tends to have bangs, though I notice. We'll see. I like this version. All right, continuing onward, we jump into the Bat Cave San Jose, California. Hey, Kenpo. I love California. Love it. And that's why I like doing these late night reads as well. Like my sister's out on the West Coast, and that's like 3 hours behind. And so, what is time, anyways, right? It's always 3 p.m. somewhere. So, I love the West Coast. It's so funny. When I went to visit her, I was there for like 2 weeks, and I came back, and I was so jet lagged. I'm like, how does like 3 hours of time jet lag you like that? But it does make a difference when you think about right now. What time is it right now? I can't even see the time on this. 1:44. Okay. So, uh, you guys would be 3 hours behind that. So at like 10:44 or 11:44, something like that. West is best. Yo, yo. And I mean, like, there's a lot of prophecy about the West as well. 10:44. Love it, love it. Oh, thank you for that. And I'm even better in real life. And I'm hopeful that in 2026, and also this new astrological year that's coming up, right? Because we're in Pisces season astrologically, which is the last sign before we begin again in Aries, right? And Wonder Woman, like, I gotta do something special for her because she's a true Aries woman. Come on now, right? That warrior woman aspect. But in all of us, cultivating the inner warrior within ourselves, right? That's really what it kind of all means for us, is like a cosmic family, realizing your special role in it. Just like in the Justice League, each character has their own, unique gifts, their unique powers, and their own role to play. And, even though Oliver Queen, like over here, he's like a little resentful that, like, Donna Troy Cam was like, listen, I only want the superheroes who can fly. Can't fly, can't come. So, like, Batgirl has these conversations with Supergirl too, where she's like, do I really have a business? Do I have any business being a hero considering I don't really have powers? But human genius, there is, what do we consider superpowers, right? You look at Cirque du Soleil, or you look just these guys who like scale the skyscrapers with no like with nothing. Just like that's pretty kind of spectacular if you think about it, right? Uh let's see here. I have to I love Hunter S. Thompson, so I'm so happy you brought that up. I love that. And so she was looking at Clark, Kristen Krug looking. So do you have Lana and Clark together, or do you have him with Lois? Kind of thing. Because Alan Moore actually wrote a story, which I will read you guys when we revisit Crisis again, because um it's whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and it talks about how like Superman dies. Doesn't really die, but in that story there's a situation where both Lana and Lois realize that like they both love Clark, and like there's a level of just realizing that, I suppose. Okay, have I done Red Sun? I have not done Red Sun yet, not live at least. Okay, let's continue onward, and then I don't know how late I wanted to go for these actually, but we'll see. Okay, so we're gonna continue on A World Without a Justice League. Back in the Batcave. Sir, I've brought you something light. Thanks, Alfred. 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 Why did you say it like that? It's so funny how you say certain names. Like you know, Kirsten or Kristen. It makes a difference, right? Kind of thing. Huge okay. Thanks, Alfred. Any developments, sir? The autopsies of the first victims are in. Each individual in that room died from hemorrhaging in the brain, which suggests a swift telepathic attack. I wouldn't consider that, right? Like you say, like small brain aneurysms. There's Batman's like must be a psychic attack. Something to consider. The graffiti that was left behind is a blatant calling card, I grant you. Are you sure Arkham said there's been no change in his status, Alfred? They were quite empathetic, Master Bruce. Something is not right. I wrote off the key as a minor threat a long time ago. It might be time to reassess that evaluation. Your dog's name's Crypto? Oh, that's cute. Fun story about Crypto though. I have a doggy named Wolfie, and he's our Crypto. And I did a read as Supergirl and Crypto 2 years ago, and that was way before the Supergirl movie was coming out with Crypto in it. And as I said, I love Supergirl with Crypto, but Crypto is not Supergirl's dog. Supergirl has a cat named Streaky. Um, he's actually in this. I wish I pinned it. I will come back to this one again, Final Crisis. I realized I kind of went all willy-nilly when I was yeah, beautiful that is. So you look gorgeous, Supergirl. I can find it. Oh, maybe here. It's like it also has Ollie and Dinah. If I can't find it right away, it's looking really jacked there. Okay, I'll have to come back to that and find it. But Supergirl does have a cat named Streaky, and Crypto is the history behind Crypto. I've gone over it with you guys before. How he on Krypton, Jor-El, who is Superman's dad, picks up Crypto from like the pound or like this like wherever you get dogs on Krypton, right? And there's a couple of renditions of how Crypto ends up finding Superboy, right? And so Superboy in that version of Superman and Crypto grow up together, right? So it's beautiful. I love that. Crypto, the last dog of Krypton, and so happy you have a version. And we need more super doggies out there in the world. They're true angel beings. Our little doggy has been a great joy and love, and a great source of like healing for me and my mental health. Just his frequency, just like a cuddle for my Wolfie is just like enough to like make me feel better. Okay. Back to Oliver and Dinah. If it's not already too late, do you still see the raven, Ollie? Yep, dead ahead, leading us to dawn, I hope. You know, for the city of tomorrow, Metropolis has a god-awful sewer system. Well, I would imagine so. Um, is that what Metropolis is supposed to be called? The city of tomorrow? And then Dinah, look at this little pose here. Hey, right? Yeah. Hey, kind of looks like I'll be sure to tell Superman the next time that we talk. What do you think happened to Dawn, Ollie? Because Oliver is not actually from Metropolis, I think, or even Gotham. I forget what city he's in. If someone knows that, please do drop it. He is reaching into my mind. Help me, help me, help me. Nothing good, Di. Nothing good at all. Thank you, Star City, Adam. Appreciate that. Star for you, virtual. um, you were sending for the League. I saw it in your mind, says the key. I asked for your help, and this is your answer. He wasn't asking for help. He was just like poking around in your psyche for being like, you're going to help me no matter what. You wound me, my dear. And he like smacks her in the face. Very like, ah. And she says, oh, back in that office tower, those people, you killed them. Haven't you been listening to a word I've said? Didn't you beg for it to stop yourself? What choice did I have? And thank you, Zono X. I love Canary a lot. I feel like I could be her. Like the Sonic Scream thing, I feel like I might have one of those tucked away. Gotta practice that in a safe place. Can you imagine if you like accidentally set one of those off and you like broke down a building? Who knows if that's what some of the things that we like go on, like different little experiments that happen and just all gets covered up, right? So I was like, what choice did I have? And Don says back to him, there is always a choice to do the right thing. And he's getting more and more like agitated, right? You did your precious friend. Wait. And did your precious friends do the right thing by me? Oh, it's always about you, huh? Did they ever check up on me in the practical maze they imprisoned me in? Or at Arkham? It's one of those things like if you weren't crazy before you went into an asylum, perhaps being in an asylum would make you crazy, right? Uh oh yeah. Zonox, I think I just brainstormed an idea. Maybe I can put it together really quickly that, doing like a little trio of the birds of prey, like a little like singing trio, like Batgirl, Dinah, Black Canary, and Huntress. Like do do do, like TLC, but like the birds of prey kind of thing. Kind of fun. All right. Where are we here? Oh yeah, so he's getting all mad. He knows that Dawn called for like the Justice League for backup, and he's like getting all upset. Did they ever care to see what their decisions cost me? No, no, they did not. And what help did they offer you after your husband's death? They used you both, and now you are alone in this world. Go, go and see what the legacy of such arrogant callousness is. Great Mother, a few less voices to burden me, yes. And when I am with them at the moment of death, I find the blessed silence that I search for. It is a moment of beauty and clarity, and I crave it. But this is only a trickle when a torrent is needed. At least they have what eludes us both. They have eternal peace. I have given them that. And that's hardly equitable. Now is it? But now, coupled with your magics, I can unleash that torrent and bring silence to us all. Oh, I do probably have lagging. In this room, sometimes the the internet's the Wi-Fi is not as great. Let me see. Thank you for liking the live one, Stacy. Appreciate it, you guys. You guys are always very sweet when I'm on, when I play my characters. Love that. I always try to do my characters justice, and I do cosplay as the girls that I really do find resonance with. And Dinah's relationship with her mother, like the Black Canary, I totally relate to like that dynamic of trying to find your own identity, find your own way, your own sense of self. When you have another mantle to kind of live up to. Like this is where like Black Canary has this conversation even with Nightwing for because I not when with Nightwing. It's when I think for a brief moment when Batman dies or goes away, Dick Grayson is Batman for a while. They're just different people, right? And he has a conversation with Black Canary about like how he just like for Bruce for as Bruce as Batman, like the mission is everything, like no compromise. It's like, and Nightwing just doesn't work that way. And so it's he talks with her about it and just she's just kind of like a therapist to him. She doesn't really give any answers, just kind of like is an ear to a lot of the younger superheroes like in the Titans and stuff. So I love that about her and I want to be that energy for like you guys too, like because I'm like 40, right? I'm turning 41. And so um I have lived a really full, beautiful, wonderful life when it comes to things like I bartended and I go-go danced and I like modeled, I went to Vegas, competed in fitness, worked corporate, did all that kind of stuff. I'm 41. I'm 40 right now. I'm turning 41 in April. And I have a big party planned, so all that kind of stuff. But I I have a lot of friends of mine who are much younger than I am. And I vibe on, as you can see, I have a tattoo. It's not the wrong arm. Wow, Rachel. Big sister, right? Because I vibe on big sister energy. Oh, great. Yeah. So you're in like a similar generation to me then, right? Alan. And boob to you, Gwen Stacy. Let's continue onward before I get distracted with talking to you guys. I do want to get through this story. I'm going to flip a little bit further ahead. So we find out, just to kind of like Cole's notes it a little bit, um, envy that one of the seven deadly sins is using the key as a conduit by which to enact all of his nefarious actions on this plane, right? So that's why Batman was like, something's not right here. Like I thought the key was just like a common criminal, and it's true, he is a common criminal. It's just that his body, his psyche is being used by like other like demons and stuff, right? So which, let's call the sins, like the sins are pretty much like demons, I guess. You're 29, but we're on this. Oh, Zoto X, trust me, age ain't nothing but a number, and getting down ain't nothing but a thing. It's kind of creepy thinking about that song by Aaliyah with R. Kelly right now, but there is truth to that. Um, Cal L for life. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love all of my heroes, right? I love them in all different ways. Like for example, um, I resonate with Supergirl a lot because I have this like feeling in myself. How should I put this? I don't know if you guys subscribe to the idea of like past lives or reincarnations. Energy signatures, let's say, that come into form. And so just like how when you meet people, sometimes it feels like you've known them forever, and other times you're like, not gonna work, right? Um, so it's like this idea that this destiny, or this idea of like before you were born, before you came into this existence, that you chose to come here to have this experience as, you know, the universe learning about itself in the form of you, right? So I find that when you have favorites of characters, when you love certain characters for certain reasons, that tells you a lot more about yourself, as well as uh your crushes are your crushes. Like me and my friends used to always talk about how like they could always tell the kind of guys that like I would like. And I'm like, I know, I have a type, you know? But I also have a type when it comes to integrity of character as well, right? I really love like um admire people who have the balls to stand in their own decisions, right? The balls to stand into like to stand alone and be unique and quirky and different. I find that immensely attractive, right? And Lara Rocks, yeah. It's Supergirl was put here on this earth for a reason, and so that resonated with me hard. And I'm gonna uncensor that. So Supergirl will be back. Supergirl is definitely one of my up there favorite superheroes I resonate with, just because I feel like an alien most times. Kara, well, you know what? It's everything's encoded, right? So if you think of Kara, right? Ra, sun, right? Cal, and then I think Ka, I forget what Ka translates, like the energy. And so there's like a lot of beautiful stuff symbolized in those names, right? And so for example, my sister loves Superman. Like loves Superman. He is her be all end all, loves him as a superhero. I do love Superman. I love Supergirl. I love him as a hero, but if I had to choose like my favorite like male superhero, I would choose someone more like Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, or someone like the Flash, like Barry, right? Because or Nightwing, right? Just because I find like that balance of, you know, you're already dealing with like a crisis, dark stuff. Um, we have to be able to find ways to find joy in the situation, even when we're dealing with like really heavy things, just like the world right now. It can feel really dark and heavy and all this kind of stuff. And it can feel like, oh, well, like, why are you reading comic books when the whole world is falling apart? Or I have to deal with this, or like depression, all this anxiety about the state of like the earth, the world, that like all that kind of stuff. But I do think it's about reconnecting with yourself first. Repair that relationship first with ourselves, right? Because um it's when we realize that the heroes that we all need in ourselves, and that I believe all these characters do exist on a plane, right? And I also believe on this plane of existence, there are beings that are meant to embody certain energy signatures. And we need each other to activate. You need someone to see you in order for it to be real. Like that's where we need the other, where like in the mirror, um, you have like you wouldn't know something was white if there was no black, right? You wouldn't have shadow if there was no light. These things exist because of each other, right? Just like how when you have the heroes, you inevitably have a villain, right? And in our own lives, in our own selves, in our own psyches, we can personify elements of ourselves, like envy here, right? Like if we feel envious or resentful or jealous, that frequency can sometimes oh, hello, Helly Sensei. How is it going? I am just reading through it. Black Canary. Um, and just talking about how like finding the superhero within. That's really what the comic books are kind of just more like clues. Clues to the cosmos, clues as to how what would it look like if you were to have superpowers in this existence, right? Think about it practically. Like and that's the nerdy part of me when I look at comic books. When you think about Kal-El specifically and Supergirl specifically, their powers come from the power of our yellow sun. And the idea that on their home planet, their home world, they don't have powers. And even more so, their home planet's like dirt and stuff is basically poison to them, which is the opposite to us here, where I just talked to you guys about the Schumann resonance on Earth, where we literally are empowered by the vibration and frequency of the planet. Um, so it's an interesting thing there, right? I have a theory about Krypton, right? I feel like Krypton was actually created by humans, like ancient galactic humans that were like super high advanced. They built Krypton to create a Superman that would be needed when the Earth needed in the distant future. That's my theory. Um, because it doesn't make sense. Like, why out of all places does Superman have powers specific there? And why do you look like a human? Right? I have watched Adventures of Superman. It's very anime based. I love it. It's on X. That part where the two of them like get powered up into the sun, it's super bomb. I love it. Um, there's also a story with Supergirl where she wields the Red Lantern ring of anger and rage because she's going through like obviously trauma of losing Krypton. And typically the only way to disengage yourself from a Red Lantern ring is I think you have to use a Blue Lantern ring. Blue or indigo? I forget. There's some sort of like alchemy to the lantern rings when it comes to that. But instead, Supergirl flies straight through the heart of our yellow sun, and she just like energy level Super Saiyan 5,000, right? And then she like frees herself from it. So it's kind of cool. Like, love it. Kal-El's struggle with himself and humanity is by far the best struggle in Heroes. Yeah, Adam. And to add some granularity to that when it comes to Supergirl, the experience between those two figures are very different, right? Because if you think about Kal-El growing up as Clark out in Kansas, you have a very specific upbringing. And that brings into that question of like nature versus nurture, like certain things like your genetic code and how that's balanced up with like your upbringing, your friends, your lovers, things that happen to you in life. And all of these things come together to make you you. And it's not like a simple thing of like, oh, well, if you were born into this family and this thing and you're an alien, like you're going to become a superhero. No, it's so much more beautifully complex and more succulently, randomly novel than that. Yeah. So let's go into the read. Yeah, let's finish it. Okay. Black Canary, smash. I don't really like your hairstyle here, girl. Like the bangs don't suit you. Excuse me, sir and madam, but your extermination has been judged as necessary. Rest assured, I am programmed to make that termination as comfortable as possible. Oh, how nice. Smash! Use of your sonic scream will only prolong things unnecessarily. Aren't you the most thoughtful assassin bot I've ever met? Ollie says as he gets his arrow ready. Thank you. Whip, 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 whip. Oh my gosh. Hey, snap. I do try. Oh my gosh. I love He's like, Ollie's like trying to make fun of the assassin, but the assassin has no humor. It's just like, oh, well, aren't you so polite? Or doesn't get sarcasm, I suppose. Okay, so I can't leap tall buildings in a single bound. Thock. And I don't wear fancy power rings. Hell, I'm not even the world's second greatest detective. Jam. Whatever that means. Because Batman's the world's greatest detective, right? But I am a guy. Here I am, bot. Just waiting for termination. And then with a hell of a lot of what? Chutzpah. All right, Green Arrow, you got some chutzpah. Got you. No, it's okay. No worries. See, I'm and Kang are similar to me. Oh, no, 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 no. No worries. No worries, Adam. I do need you guys to keep me back on track with reading, though, because otherwise nothing will get done. I'm gonna go for, what time is it now? 2:10. Oh my gosh, wow. It went so, late so fast. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up, actually. Let's go to about here, like a little final fight action. Okay. No, the sin only wanted to show me how he relished what I detested. How the total immersion of, what is this? Seamy? Oh, is it? How the total immersion in the seamy thoughts, feelings, and desires of mundane masses was life's blood to him, even as it was hell for me. But worse, he taunted me with the knowledge I was going to be his plaything, his conduit to inside all of humanity. So this is the key, talking about how envy has basically taken over his mind, right? His eternal pipeline into this world's cursed consciousness. I was, in short, damned. You kind of feel bad for Key here, right? Because he's kind of like just a puppet in the sense. No, I won't. I can't. Then Batman comes in with this why are you kicking Green Arrow? Oh, they're probably being consumed by envy and fighting each other at this point, right? This is insane. Oh, so as he's kicking Green Arrow, Batman is saying, this is insane. The key is clearly manipulating us, as he kicks, forcing us to fight. And Oliver gets hit in the face and he says, oh, you're not exactly resisting too much, are you, Bats? It's not the key alone. I warned him of the dangers of using magic. We've been detected. There is a mystical presence here now, drawing out our darker emotions. And I'll say Supergirl, it's me, Dinah says. Damn it, I'm tired of being used by telepaths. We're better than this. Resist it. Dinah's right. Don't get me wrong. I still don't like you, but I'm nobody's puppet. Neither am I, Arrow. And not the keys and not the JLAs. Okay, Batman, you always have to throw in little extra jib jab there, I feel you. And then Green Arrow pushes Dawn and Black Canary out of his way, saying, had to just get the last word in, didn't you, Bruce? Come on, Dawn. We all heard what Dinah said. Enough. Enough? You dare to tell me that and expect this to stop after you used me? Hey, Dawn. Come on, kiddo. Remember, we're fighting our baser emotions, okay? It's always a joke, isn't it, with you, Ollie? Was it a joke to my husband, the man that we both betrayed? Oh, just to fill you guys in, Green Arrow and Dawn had an affair while she was still married to her shaman hubby who died. And that's what's coming out here, right? Like all the little like mistakes and little transgressions, how they can manifest into this bigger thing. Hey, Reed Richards. Yes, it's Black Canary. Yes, your favorite sonic screamer, you know? Okay. Uh, and then, no, he knows. He knows Dawn is my salvation, and he intends to take her away from me. I sense his taunts filling my brain. Oh dear, that would suck. I mean, like, that's what I think too. If we think about mental illness, right? Or how we kind of perceive things like schizophrenia or certain disorders, right? It could feel like it's almost like something from like another dimension trying to poke through and seep through and give messages. Of course, you can DM more recommendations to me. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a little bit of a hunt. So perfect timing. Maybe I will do a live at the comic book store in the day. How fun would that be? We'll see. Okay. Library I can't do because obviously they'd be like, shut the F up, right? Aw, thank you, thank you. Love you too, Gwen Stacy. Lots of love to you guys. Also, just to let you guys know, Tuesday nights are going to be my official Cosmic Comic Book Club weekly nights. So, yeah, I can't shoot no shouting in the library. There's a meme about that too, Zono X, that my hubby likes to play. This is library. No yelling. I don't want to be one of those people either, too, where like are on their phones or doing something disrespectful. I love the library so much. Hey, Johnny boy, thank you for that. Okay, we're gonna wrap up Infinite Crisis crossover JLA, A World Without a Justice League. We're just about to hit the climax of the story, and now all the dark secrets, perfect for a full moon and a lunar eclipse. All the dark secrets are coming out. Mr. Mafia. I got the Deadpool Batman. Oh, nice. Are you a big fan of the So next week, next Tuesday, what I'm planning to do with the Tuesdays is I'm going to flip between DC and Marvel. So next week, I'm going to be doing Phoenix and, well, Jean Grey Phoenix, right? Where does Phoenix begin and where does Jean Grey end? Who knows? But next week, we're going to do a completion to Cosmic Ascent, which is where Phoenix goes head to head versus Thanos. Thanos has to cheat, by the way. Bad guys as they do. And then the week following is St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday. And so I'll be doing Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern, and we'll be revisiting Blackest Night and Prophecy in that world. Because they have like the Book of OA, this whole idea of I have the prophecies all written out and all the different like oaths of the different lanterns. And so if you love the lanterns, please come out on St. Patrick's Day. You don't have to be a Green Lantern. I do love the blues, the indigos, the reds, and even yellow, even though Sinestro likes to take over and call it like is all his. But let's do it. Kara, for a world that needs us, they sure can be jerks. Oh yeah. I relate to Kara with that too, because think about it. Like, the X-Men talk about this too. Like, why do we want to help people that like hate us? Like, why are we doing this? No one is even grateful. Like, it's like I saved you, and then whichever. Oh my gosh, I just got into that. I'm gonna wrap. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna wrap because I went way later than I was supposed to. But I'll catch all of you guys tomorrow at some point, and next Tuesday we'll do the late night reads. But probably, I do have a Zatanna cosplay that I owe you guys to do some magic, and probably we'll do Batgirl again as well. But let's wrap this and we'll finish it up. And please do DM me any recommendations. I'd love to hear it. And also like maybe why you like the story too, because there's always a level of that. Okay. How do I wrap this quickly? So we'll finish with the sonic scream that she does. And I was spent and so very tired. What was I doing? Ollie, the things I said. They needed to be said, Dawn, because they were true. Please, can the hearts and flowers wait? Oh, can the hearts and flowers. I saved you, Manitou Dawn. Now, for the love of all that's holy, you must do the same for me. And he gets slammed to the ground. And it's Batman who does it. What makes you think you're worth saving, Key? Huh. What? Careful, his telepathy is weakened, but he's still dangerous. You stay away from me. Your thoughts, so repressed, so angry, they're hurting me. So Batman literally, like, he's not even doing anything beyond that first, like, initial body slam. And he's like, oh, your thoughts, they're so dark and scary. Not like he's not even doing anything, and Batman's scaring the crap out of Key. Um, and Ollie's like, Batman? Repressed? Angry? No. Right? I, for one, did not see that coming. Heavy sarcasm. You don't understand. The voices, they have to be silenced. Oh, I tried to be impressive, but I was obviously at my rope's end. Not that it mattered to them. We've got to take him down fast. Canary, use your sonic scream, but his power will recharge Dinah. Do it. Now. Eee! So she does it. I'm not going to do the sonic scream in full form because I may shatter the microphone. So sonic scream. Eee! And as she does that, it's a 1-2 punch. Black Canary, Batman team up. Actually, one of my favorite team ups. They team up in Death of Oracle too. And Huntress watches it and she's like, it's kind of beautiful, isn't it? Watching Batman and Black Canary take down bad guys. He likes Black Canary and Batman have a nice relationship, actually. And I'll take care of the rest. That is enough. He's not Zatanna, Batman. And Batman looks at her sharply. What did you say? Because in events prior to this identity crisis, because there's many different crises, this is Infinite Crisis, Zatanna actually wipes Batman's memory. So I think that's what she's referring to here. You heard me, and don't even try to pull your usual denial routine. Believe what you want. All that matters is that the Key is going to go back to Arkham to pay for his crimes. No, no, no. Please, no. It will only start again. It will be hell. Batman, I do not excuse the Key's crimes, but the reality of the matter is that he is an open telepath with no ability to shut out the thoughts of others. It is maddening beyond belief. Years of imprisonment in a fractal maze and Arkham only accelerated the process. And what you propose will subject him to a progressively more torturous experience. So it's kind of nice. Like, she actually has still empathy, even though this guy did a lot of terrible ish to her and friends. Batman then says, you're forgetting the Key's abuse of his psychotropic drugs is what caused this mutation, Dawn. And I doubt his victims' families will have much sympathy for his affliction. Listen to what she's saying, Bruce. What we've tried before didn't work. If he goes back to your beloved Arkham, his insanity will only grow. And so will the threat that he presents. And so what ends up happening is that they come to an agreement, and Manitou Dawn basically places him in this, like, endless void, right? Oh, thanks for that, Red Heron. Right? Because he's an open telepath, he ends up getting all of the messages. It's like being able to hear everybody's thoughts all at once constantly. It's why in Doctor Sleep, he, like, a lot of alcoholics come from that, right? Where because you're numb, you just need to make the voices stop. Like I can't stand hearing like everyone's like everyone's stress, everyone's anxiety. Like I can hear you, right? So because anyone who is very empathetic too, like you can just no one needs to say anything. You can tell when someone's upset. You can tell when someone's happy. So all of those messaging, if you're like a really open telepath, it would be crazy. So she has some compassion, right? Right. And I think that's the important balance to have different members of the team that can bring these different viewpoints, right? Because, if we just did Batman's way, it's very uncompromising. So she banished me, dear reader, to a place of utter emptiness and soulful, peaceful silence. I am enveloped in nothingness, in a void. I simply am. The astral plane was always a place for mystics, mind readers, and madmen, Dawn. Protected from the sensory overload of reality, he will exist in stasis, a threat to no one. You've done well. Thank you, John, Martian Manhunter. He's a master telepath too, right? And you, Raven? Have I pleased you, husband? You are my heart, Manitou Dawn. You never can and never have done less. I saw into their hearts and minds, these so-called heroes, and found the frailties of the human spirit that I expected. The pettiness, the jealousness that laid low their fabled league. We both reached for glorious destiny and fell short. Still, unlike me, I suspect their story is far, far from over. There will always be a Justice League. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me for this read. Chauncey Lee, thank you for the heart me. Appreciate that. And Anakin, yes, comics are the best. You guys are very sweet. Neptune, thank you for that. My flowers. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it so much. So that was the read. A World Without a Justice League. I'm going to tomorrow, if you guys are subscribed to my newsletter, I'm going to actually just make sure, probably do a live to make sure you guys have the link to that. It's called Working the Cosmic Beat with Rachel Z, and it's going to have the afterglow show of this read. So tomorrow I'm going to have a little entry about my analysis of this comic book, specifically through the lens of Black Canary, and that's how I'm going to be doing these reads going forward, specifically for these reads. So thank you, Rick, you guys. And comic books are unique, right? Because generally speaking, they're a really visual medium, right? So if you read a book, like the author's going to write out all the scenes and all the stories and all that kind of stuff. But when you're comic books, the illustrator takes care of that, right? Like the way the set and the setting looks and the costumes and how everyone look is taken care of by, drawing, right? So you don't have to necessarily describe all that. So when I've been doing this live with you guys, I've kind of like done a cool hybrid approach of, what it was like for me growing up in the 90s when my teachers would come in and like read a book to us out loud, right? And in your mind's eye, you would visualize everything, right? So my teachers never read me comic books because, comic books were those weird kids read comic books, right? That little, no one actually read, and so to me, the movies, the live action stuff has been, I'm torn on it, right? Because on one hand, you get to introduce people to characters that you really, really love, and that they wouldn't necessarily ever pick up a comic book and read through it and go through the whole lore and find out why the powers work. And certain people are just not into that. But in those stories, sometimes I've been able to tell friends of mine some comfort and some hope because, these, look at Envy, all that stuff, right? So Manitou Dawn, she cheated on her husband with Green Arrow. Green Arrow's kind of known as being a stud, kind of. I don't know if he was with Dinah at the time. I don't know what happened, but yeah, cheers to us weird kids.